Hey, how you doing? Let's see what we got here. Perfect. Alright, we're good now. Okay, this is Jennifer as white versus Sabrina Foister. Jennifer Wu is white and Foister is black. Oops. C4, E5, E3, F4, D4, E4. Knight C3, Knight F3, and F6, sorry. So this is the English game, and I noticed that Jennifer plays the English game a lot. And so that's good. Hey, how you doing? Hey, Frank. Knight GE2 and G6. Yeah, we'll do it. We will. And Knight F4. That's I like Jennifer's position. This kind of reminds me of. I actually don't know what this reminds me of. This is kind of an odd type of position, but I like Foister's pawn chain, how expansive it is, but it just doesn't look like it's gonna hold for much longer after H and then H4, H5, hurry up the board. You're gonna have some type of sitch going on there, or potentially that's or maybe G, H, and up, or maybe something like H3, G4 coming down the pike with a little bit of pressure. There's H4. I knew it. Jennifer's going for the breakdown. She's gonna try to crunch this lovely pawn chain. That's so sad. We had such a beautiful pawn chain. Now in comes the battering ram, or as a fence. I like calling it a fence. We had a lovely fence, but in comes the wrecking ball with H5 to knock down our beautiful fence. Knight C6, H4. Yeah, she's going to try to keep it together via taking here and after takes there. C5. Gotta love Jennifer's fence though. Look at this. Woo! Right up the board. She has one too on the queen side, and you always look at when it's closed which way the pawns are pointing is where you're going to want to attack. Since this is a closed game, you're going to want to attack on the. Jennifer's going to want to attack on the queen side, and Foister's going to want to attack on the. Our Sabrina's going to want to attack on the king side. Alright. G5. H6. G takes F4. And this was the one that was really interesting here. At this point, White's doing pretty darn tootin' good, in my opinion. This is like super duper stellar to get a pawn on move 11, almost queening and attacking a rook. Hello, Everybody would love to have had that. And then it's like, what? Are you kidding me? You could actually do that? Yeah, because of this move here. If she takes, hello, wham, kazam. You gotta love that type of a fork. And then what do? You gotta throw in here, and then he comes up, and then you win two pieces, and you're up two whole pieces, and you're basically crunch. F3 was played. Rook H6. But that was a beautiful line, I gotta say. If your opponent didn't know what they were doing, but they took, oh hello, you did. That'd be a wake up that they would remember. Wham. It's like, yeah, to drop that on is so sweet. So I liked when she dropped that on that. That was beautiful. H. Trying to Foister's going for attacking the rook, and now that the one thing I didn't understand was, I think the reason she didn't want, hold on, I'm just trying to see why she didn't want to actually go there. I think she wanted to attack the knight to get it to move, because I think the knight would have been a problem. I'm thinking that might be a better idea. I was thinking about this here. I wanted to make when she played this. Oh, so H6 is best. So this is not as good. This is not as good. All because of there, because she's putting the tension on the pressure here, so that if this is played, a rook would takes, and then king takes, and if he takes here, queen comes in, and basically you're losing the house at this point. All your forces are storming in, and it's like horrible. Knight G4, takes, bishop takes, and then D5. C takes D, queen takes. And at this point, I was getting a little concerned here that it might actually somewhat stall out to a draw, because Foister had enough to actually hold for a draw at this point. My thought was after queen b6. If you're wondering why this was played, this was to stop f7. If anything else was played, like maybe d2, king to f7 would have been a playable idea, and trying to take a poke at this g7 pawn. So this move here, queen b3 attacks the rook twice and stops the king from fleeing to f7. So you have to have more than two ideas. So so one idea is it stops the king getting close to g7, attacks the rook twice, actually puts pressure on b7, prepares, let me see, what else would that be? That's really all I can see. And maybe potentially prepares castle and queenside, maybe something like that. Bishop e6. I really liked this move. That was kind of sweet. Now at this point, king f7, and I was like, oh, it's such a beautiful game that it's going to end in a draw now. I actually did think that. I thought this might turn out to be a draw, because the king finally got to the wonderful location to take a poke at g7. And this beautiful g7 pawn has been our pride and joy for so long. But what can you do? Sometimes you have to give back. Sometimes you have to give up your pride and joy to hold and get the most out of the position. Queen D, A6. I'm wondering why. I always wondered why Foister didn't take here. Oh, it's because of. I gotcha. A6. She's planning on taking. She has to protect her pawn here. Okay. Now there's a pawn that's gonna collapse. King E rotates, and bishop F. Now she's planning on seeing if she can't do a little poke of her own here. Takes, rook C1. Interesting idea, for sure. King D7, Queen E2. Okay. Knight and bishop. Trying to shove this pawn down the board. Oh, interesting. She allowed that. Ouch. That's not fun. No, 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 no. Takes. 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 You gotta love this sacrifice here. Yeah, she didn't want to basically go down. I don't know if this is gonna be winning for. I'm thinking that yeah, this actually is better for black here. B5. And E5. I liked how she got. Jennifer's really good in the endgame, so I noticed that a lot of the young players nowadays are playing for endgame. So that should be something that we take notice on. That endgame is really important. If you were wondering about king here, oh wait a second. After knight G, if you're wondering if king here is a good idea, not really, because of this. And you'd have to come back to guard the bishop, so that's why the bishop moved. Now she can move her king. Knight, there you go. And up the board they go. She was happy with a draw back here, but Foister, I believe, made a miscalculation with king to E6. I believe this was the losing move. That's my opinion. King E6 was the losing move. I did not understand that. I thought they were going to draw at this point, go back and forth, back and forth. It's not worth pushing it if I think it's equal at this point. Not this point, but here, yeah. I think though when she did this, it actually turned the tide back to white because F5 was playable at that point. Queen D8, King E2 now. She's now getting her king involved. And there goes the pawn. And if you're wondering if this works, no, it actually doesn't. This right here would just cause Kate. Well, okay, sorry. The rook could actually take. Sorry, I mean this would actually be playable at that point. So when this move here was a blunder. This she should have moved her knight. Got her knight back. I think that lost. It's slightly better for white, but now you can play b6 and then b7. There's no way to stop the queening of the pawn, or at least loss of the rook, because if check, how can we? Yeah, actually the king's too close. Either here or here. It has to leave. It'd have to give its life up for that. And then so are we ready? All right. Let me see here. So knight d2 to e4. I'm wondering if bishop takes e4, bishop takes c5, bishop takes f3, bishop takes b6. Is that just a plain equal position? maybe bishop takes e4, bishop takes c5, knight takes c5. Maybe that's what holds the position. Oh, yeah, that would not be fun, would it? Ouch. Yeah, that would not be a very delightful feeling at that point. That'd be ew. Huh. I was looking at that. Rook takes e4. Oops, e5. Where did I get e4? Rook takes e4. Bishop takes c5. And then knight takes c5. Rook takes. Rook takes e5. Takes e5, e4. Bishop takes e4. And I think we're good. It's actually rook takes e4. We're looking at from white side, black side of the board. Rook takes. Yeah. If rook takes e4, if rook takes e4, bishop takes e4, queen takes e4, and then bishop takes d6. Yeah, I think we got it. Well, maybe I'm thinking though. I don't think we can play bishop takes e4 because of queen takes f7. Check. Sorry. So I think we win for the rook. I think we win 2 pieces. Check. So I'm thinking it's bishop takes d6. Bishop takes d6. Yeah. I'm looking at rook e6, rook e6, attacking the queen. Yeah, rook e6, queen f3, knight f4, check. If king, g4, rook to g5 is mate. What do you think about that, Frank? Do you like that idea? And he'd have to trade basically his queen off for our what do you think? Well, I'm liking if that's the case. So rook e6, queen d7. I like knight e5. Knight e5 would be my response to that. And then if queen d2, queen d2 check, king to h3, and I think we're almost winning at that point. King h3, and we're almost, in my opinion, almost winning at that point. I think we are winning at that point. We're like one move away. We're g4 would be made at that point. Right. No, I was saying that we have to move our king after queen d2, check, king h3, and then it would depend. He'd probably have to play queen to e3 at that point to pin the pawn. Queen e3 would actually be playable at that point. So he would have to pin the pawn. But he can't really, or sorry, not queen e3, sorry, queen d3. Queen d3. Well, no, he can't go queen d3 because no, can he go? Yeah, he could go queen d3. Nope, he can't go queen d3 because our knight covers it. So that is a winning line. If rook e6, queen d7, knight e5, queen d2 check, king h3 is important. Queen c, so you're saying it's queen c2, c3, queen c3. Maybe, let's see, king h3 is interesting. King h3. We may try king h3. King h3. If queen d7, rook e6, Well, g4 check. King takes g4. Knight e5 check. And if king takes f5, knight takes c6. Yeah. So that might actually be the move, now that we think about it. See, g4. So at this point, let's say g4 check, king h6, rook e6. The queen would have to move to not sure, c8. Yeah, but that still I believe loses though. Yeah, I think you got it with and that's me. Oops, I should want to check. Gotta be careful there. What do we do now? Oh, wait a second. Knight f5 check. That doesn't work. King h7. Or wait a second, would knight e5 work? Knight e5 check. King h3. King h3. King h7. What do we do after king h7 though? I guess we could play a check with the knight on to f8. Then king g Whoa, nice. Yeah, I think you got it. Yeah, let me see. If queen h5 check, king g3, bishop d6, knight e5. And I'm not sure if we have much after that. We might be able to take with the pawn. So let's see here. So knight g5. Rook takes e5. D takes e5. Bishop takes d5, or e5, e5 check. Knight takes e5, and then queen h4. I believe is that mate? Is that the mating line? Did I put in the right line? Okay, let's give her a go. Let's see here. Oh, I think I got it. I think I got it. I'm looking at rook rook f3. Oops, f3 check. King king f8. Rook takes f8, and then queen e6 check, and then it forks the n and the king. That'd be a draw. But we do have a pass pawn though. Actually, we'd be up a pawn, wouldn't we? Wouldn't we be up one pawn though in that line? We'd have a pass d4 pawn. Would that be worth much? Let's see, F. Well, rook g3, queen e7. And then if we tried rook f, yeah. So rook g3, let me take a look at this. Rook g3, queen h5, and then you're saying queen h7. If rook h8, rook rook f3, check, king e7, rook e1, check. I don't know, I'm not sure. So you're thinking rook g8? Yeah, that's exactly what I was looking at. So you're thinking Queen H7, Rook G8, Rook F3 check, King E7, Queen E4 check, and then we walk the king down the board. I don't know if that works though. I'm not sure if that actually does, because that would allow Queen E7, and then yeah. So what you're saying is Queen H7 at that point. What if King? Well, I guess he'd have to play Rook G8 at that point to hold. Actually, he wouldn't have to play Rook G8. He could just play King E8 at that point. He could just play King E8 and then say thank you for allowing me to escape. Well, then he's got Rook F7. He's got Rook F7 at that point. To block. Queen H8. Well, then he'll have Queen to F8. He'll have Queen F8 at that point. No, wait a second. The Rook is on G7. I don't know if I'm not sure. See, the Rook's on G7 at that point, so he could block the Queen. So Rook G3, Queen E7, Rook F3, King E8. If King E8, you can just win the Queen. Play Rook. Oh, I gotcha. Okay, let me see there. Oh, to pin the Queen to the King. Okay. See, Rook G3, King E7, F3, check, King E8. Full line? What's the full line? That. Queen D5 is probably what we'd have to. Let's see, what would you play? Queen C. I'll be right back. 1 second. 1 sec. about this. I had to step away for a second. Okay. Alright. So let's see, what did I miss? Let me see, so okay. Trying to get up on all the lines. See, rook g3, king a8. Okay, rook g3 is the right. I think it's at this point, let's see, so if rook g3, queen to h7, is that right? So g3 was right. Good, I'm glad we put that in. Queen h3. Okay, so that's so far so good. Thinking about this line. So so it was queen f6, okay. And then let's see, does that go back to that one line that we were working on? See there, queen do we have anything with queen f7 or f6? I don't remember us putting anything with queen f6, so rook rook to f3 at this point. Yay! Rook f3, we got it. Nice, and then we take. Hooray! Nice work. The 2900 level puzzle, sweet. So we had it all worked out, nice. We solved our first 2900 level. Oh, can you now? Oh, okay, I'll go. Well, I don't know. Hold on. Let me go back real quick and see if we can. I have to see. Hold on. Can you analyze it? Hold on. Let me see. I'm not sure how to do that. They took away a lot of these. Let's see, stats. We know what stats. Leaderboard. Oh, problems. There we go. Hold on. Where? Trying to see how do you look them up now? I don't want attempts. I want past. How do you look up your old problems? They took away that, I think, that ability somewhere. I'm not exactly sure how to do that now. I think you have to click problems. Go to stats. Okay. Stats. Okay, where on the thing? Ah, here we go. Here we go. How do you pull it up though? Oh, you click it. Okay, good. Alright. Boy, that's a long process. I liked when they had the little cube you can just click on. Okay. So what part, courage would you like to go over? What part would you like to go over? The part with after here, rook g3, and then there, and then king h7. What part would you like to go over? Oh, you didn't see it from the beginning? Okay. Okay, well, we played rook g3. This attacked the queen. Rook f, e8. Queen went into h7 for to cover these points. And if we were thinking that potentially queen e7 might be, but the only problem is rook takes g and this queen falls, so that's why that one doesn't work. So he has to actually go to f6, and then we play rook f3, queen takes, and then pawn takes. Did I answer your analysis before we move on to the next one? Do you have any other questions? What's this? Oh, nice. That's interesting. That's cool. The theme is a pin. You're good, okay. Then back to the grindstone, as they would say. We have to grind to get better. All right. Oh boy, this is, we can't take the rook because queen takes would be mate. Are you kidding me? Are you sure? Is it really queen takes after to mate? Yeah. You gotta love it though, economy, because guess what? We they have new puzzles now. You were supposed to be able to see it supposedly in 7 seconds, and so I think we kind of went over just a little bit. Let's see here. B. 26. We're at 2600. That's why we're trying to get to 26 all the way up to 27 on this. So we know we can get there. We're there on allychess.org. So or icchess.org. Or I think I said it right. Let me see here. Let's see here. Yeah, we kept getting close to 2700 on there, but we just kept getting bumped down to 2600. So it's hard to get to 2700 on allychess.org. So when you cross into the 25s into the 26, it's pretty difficult. It's more computer like puzzles at that point. Let's see here. I'm thinking king c4. If rook g4 check, king c3. And I think we're gonna be queening pretty soon. So king c4, if h5, king c3, rook takes d5. So there's something I'm missing here. King c4, h5, c3, or takes. If we go b2, king, we go b1, h2, king takes c1. No, we wouldn't be able to queen in time. Maybe we can play king d4. King d4 unleashes the pin. So maybe king d4 is an interesting move at that point. And then we do have the potential for king d4, h, bishop c. I was thinking more... What do you think, Frank, on that? Oh, and thank you for the help, Twitch for Fun, on the stats, finding the puzzle. Interesting. I didn't think about that. That to see if they could actually king d4, rook takes d5, d5, king c3, h5, king c2, h6, b b2, check, huh? Yeah, we looked at Erie has a line right here, so I'll paste it all together. I think this was Erie's line right here. So are we let's see, what do you think about this line here? King d4, h5, bishop c4. What moves are missing? Oh, you mean other variations? Oh, okay. Well, if king d4, yeah, I see what you're saying. You'd have to take a look at basically h5. If king c3, let's say he didn't take the bishop. Let's say h6. h6. I guess he could push and then win at that point. So I don't know if he would allow that. So we'd maybe we can after h go bishop to f7 maybe. Say king d4, h5, bishop c4, rook g5, g4 check, king c3. If rook takes c3, h6. I don't know if we would want to. We'd want to go up the board, Erie. We wouldn't want to go after the pawns because his three pawns would. It'd end up being a draw if we didn't go up the board to queen our own. He'd actually be able to win with his pawns. So is that the line you're thinking of? King d4, takes, king takes, h, king e. I don't know. We're going to be going after the pawn? We want to go after the pawn?
I guess we need a little help with this one, huh? Q. I guess we could. Yeah, it's been like so 12. So yeah, we need like a hint or something. That'd be great. Let me see if I can think on this. That'd be nice if you can like if there was like a hint button that didn't cost you points, but I mean that maybe it says how much you would actually lose if you clicked it, but so that you can get a hint or something and learn from it. I think Erie's first line's right. Okay. So D4. Okay, dokie. Okay, right back. 1 sec. Alrighty. Let's do it. Before it is. Before it is, and let's try it out. Oh, we moved his king. Okay. So now we need to go bishop c4. Bishop c4, rook. Excuse me, rook g4 at this point. G4. So bishop c4, rook g4, check. Sorry, I forgot to put check mark in there. King c3, and I think we're okay. Oh wow, he moved his rook over. Interesting. So that means that we'd have to play h2 check, right? Well, we got to be careful that we don't go into a draw at this point. Maybe we check with our bishop. Bishop d3 check. If king c1, then b2 check actually wins. Yeah. Oh, nice. 2,900. 2 in a row. Nice work. Good work, team. We're down a piece, so let's see about this. Queen takes f3. If castle kingside, then we play bishop takes a5. So that doesn't, that we win the queen. So he's gonna have to move his queen. So queen takes f3. It would be an equal position at that point, and we actually, well, it'd be about equal, and we don't we don't want an equal position. I think we can actually win something here. Queen takes f3. Let's see, what can the bishop do? I mean, what can the queen do? I'm looking to see where the queen can run to. Maybe he can't castle queenside, because if he castles anyway, we're going to pick up the bishop. Does he have anything that he could attack us with? I really don't see anything wrong with taking the bishop. I'm trying to see. He has to move his queen somewhere. I don't really see anywhere he moves it. It's going to be a bad spot, because and whatever queen, yeah. Because I really don't see. I'm going to do queen takes f3, and then I'll put in his move. So I'll just do, I don't know what it's going to be. I'll do 3 dots. That means that's usually black's move, so I'll just put that in there, and then this will be ours. I'll put 1 dot, and then I'll put our move in. Queen takes f7 check is a power move. I don't know what he was going to play in that situation. Oh wow. Why is that wrong? Queen c7. Okay. Then we grab that. Oh, drat. Oh, drat. I missed it. I have to take that first. That's my problem. I knew I missed something. Let's see here. If he takes here, Queen e1 check. Ow. Wow. Ouch. Okay. Alrighty. Gotcha. Let's give her a go again. Some reason I thought my queen would be able to move to bishop queen takes f7. I don't know why I thought that. Maybe I was too optimistic on a check there. This is nice. Let's see. Knight takes c6. Bishop. Let me see. Takes c6. A takes b5. Huh. Bishop takes, I don't know if it's strong enough. Let's see here. I want to take a look. Knight takes c6. A takes b5. Hold on. Knight takes e7. Rook takes. Rook can't take e7. Knight takes e7. Check. Rook takes e7, queen takes e7, queen takes g5. So knight takes there. Let's see what we have 4. So see, knight takes c6. F8 takes b5, knight takes, rook takes, queen takes. So we get for 3 pieces we get a bishop, we get a knight, bishop, and rook. So we get 6, 5. We get 8 for 9. That's not a good deal. That's not a good deal. We get 8 for 9. Well, I know actually 5, 3, and that's actually not a bad trade. We'll have to keep that in our pocket. Let's check the bishop idea out now. Bishop takes c6. If bishop takes c6, knight takes c6, and then bishop d8. Bishop d8. Not d8, sorry. Wrong. Bishop f8, I mean. Sorry, I put the wrong one in. f8. And then your 88. How did I get 2 8s in there? That is funny. There we go. And then we would not be able to. So I'm thinking the knight we get 11 pawns to 9. So we get a rook, knight, and bishop. Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, oh, interesting. He could actually just move his bishop in that line. Oh, wow. Knight takes c6, then bishop f7. Wow. Yeah, that actually is really good for our opponent at that point. Yeah, I think we bishop takes c6. Bishop takes c6 is forced at that time. Bishop takes c6, and then knight takes c6, and if bishop f8, I think we can potentially play. What would we do with our queen at that point? Would we play maybe queen f4? Queen f4 at that moment. Yeah, bishop takes is kind of forced because the bishop's attacking the rook at that point, and it forces the exchange. Otherwise, we get. Yeah, I like this. Nice work. Let's see here. Bishop takes e5. Check. Let's say king d7. Oh yeah, you're right. Bishop takes e5 is a mistake. Check, because of king b6, isn't it? I think we're still. I don't know if king. Bishop takes e5. Check. Let's try this line and see, because I'm looking at what economy is saying. That is interesting. So d6 at this point is interesting. D6, and we're actually good. We're still holding. I'm kinda, and then there's really no checks that could be played. Interesting. So bishop takes b6, and we push, and the knight would then have to actually take at that point, because I don't think they'd be able to stop it. Nope, they wouldn't be able to. The knight tried going knight a7. Knight a7 wouldn't work. It's actually beneficial. Knight a7 wouldn't work because of d7, and he wouldn't be able to stop it in time. So he'd actually have to play knight takes d6, and we would play bishop takes d6. Let's still consider king c5, and I believe that he could actually at this point oh, I see why king c5 might work. Because if we try bishop takes e5, he actually could check. He could potentially he could go king to d8 at that point. King d8. Well, if we did bishop takes e5 check, and then knight d6, king c5 is winning at that point. That wins the knight. So I don't think he'd move his knight into a pin. I don't think he would do that. That would be actually losing after king c5. I'm trying to weigh the odds. See, what I was looking at is potentially if we don't play, let's say we play king c5, right? He actually has potentially knight d4 here. He has knight d4 at this point. And that's kind of what I was considering. If king c5, knight d4, and now even if we try to push onward, we can't really make any progress. And he could, with his knight and king, maybe neutralize down the attack. So I'm wondering if we don't just because then if we take, he doesn't have any more outposts, as they say, for his knight. His knight's stuck to one spot. So you see how he has anchor points? He has an anchor point on b5 and an anchor point on d4. So we need to take away one of those anchor points. What do you think? I'm feeling that bishop takes e5 check is kind of the most forcing of the lines. I think it's the most forcing line. What do you guys say? See how our time's doing. Okay. What do you think, Frank? What do you think, Economy? What do you think, Erie? And what do you think, Twitch, for fun? Are we all in agreement on bishop takes e5, or do you have another line you would like to pursue? I guess so. What's if you do you have a line for the king idea, for king c5? Do you have a line for that? Let me see if you put it in up there. I wanted to take a look. I don't really see one. Oh, he went king b7. Let's see if we go d6 now. He'll have king c8, and then we do have that point king c5. We could play king c5. King c5, huh? King c5 is enough. Okay. So are we in agreement on king c5 first, and then we push the so we're thinking king c5, and then we push d6, whatever he does, right? Okay. So, oh wow, that was interesting. I didn't think he was going to move there. So let's see. We can't take now. So d6 has to be played at that point. d6. And so d6 here, king c8, and then knight. Oh, and then king to b6. And there's no way to basically. Oh, he'd have to move his knight. Yeah, it's d6. And then king takes c6. King takes c6. If knight takes c6, or d6, we take it. And we're on the right. Queen is square. Sweet. He doesn't have any. Does he have a check at that point? Okay, so king takes c6, d7. But see, king takes c6, and knight b7 check. King then can go to b6, and he loses his knight, I believe. d7. He could just take on d7 though. If we go d7, king takes d7, and you actually lose. He'll take it and then guard c6. So the only move, yeah, this has to be the only move there. Well, I think we're good for the night. Do you guys have any questions before I log off? Or do you have any games you would like to go over? I'm excited about the tournament. It's getting close. Jennifer beat Sabrina, and Anna Sintensky beat Arena. So now the tournament is down to a half. They're only a half a point away in the women's division. You have a game? What's your game? Ah, okay. 1 second. Alrighty. Ooh, Ben Larson. You gotta love that. Fisher had some pretty good games with Ben Larson there. I'll put it in this one here. We'll go over this game then I'll log, because I like ending on games. Games are so much fun to analyze. Oh, come on. Why are you doing this to me? Oh, good. Sometimes games are on here like interesting, really interesting, especially the ones with the youngsters that are playing now. The new generation, they have some pretty interesting tactics that they're projecting out for us to learn from. So Bobby Fischer is white or Robert Fischer? E5, E6, D4, and D5. Oh wow, French defense. A French defense. Who'd have thunk? Oh, they played the linear variation. There is a variation of the classic that would happen like this here. You could actually do the classic variation, and then go F4 here and set up for a pretty good attack and after castles. Because there's a line where you can actually wait to push C5. Like he might come up here. C5 could actually be played at this point. So he takes, knight takes, and then castles, and you potentially get a position where the bishop comes out via attacking this way. So bishop b4, it's the linear line. That's the main line. There is a line where you could take, but this is more of a equality for who's the best player at this point. The knight would come out. The queen could actually potentially come, or maybe the knight would come, then bishop check here, and then it comes back and castles, and you're good to go with a bishop to g5. So they went right down the main line. Surprisingly, Fischer went down the main line. So c5, a4. Okay, Fischer loved the a4 line. I was studying some of Ginger GM. Fischer's favorite move was actually pawn a4 in this line. There's a couple other lines you can play. You can actually play potentially bishop c3, which you don't really want to lock this down. This white entices black to lock down the queen side, so then it would retreat back. And if you tried this, then you could potentially have a problem. So don't get tricked into when they play there. Just develop your knights, and if they take, so be it. You just bring it out here, and now you're attacking via there, and if they play here, you can always just grab the pawn back. So don't fret about that. You don't want to close up the queen side. That's our attacking side. This puts a little bit of intensity, and if here, you can just retreat your queen back, and you're still fine as can be. And then you just develop your bishop, and if he tries something like this, you can always just retreat your queen back to c7, and you're fine. There's also gambit lines in the Linear that's pretty cool too. This is and by the way, this is a very vital move. You have to play this move. I'll show you. I think he sets up for a certain line here. Yep, that's the line. So far, so right. Well, that's playable. F6, knight g6. Usually, you start hacking down on these pawns. Be careful with this. Could actually lead to a headache for white, so be careful. And then the bishop would just come back to F, and boom. So actually, potentially, you just win that. Comes back, and you come back. You're good. So you've won material. Fischer won a pawn. Three. Wow, I'm surprised Ben didn't play this. Ben Larson didn't play this. What really can Bobby do? He'd have to play here, and then after potentially maybe back. Ooh. Takes, king takes. I don't know. I'm kind of liking it. Oh, Ben's black. I forgot about that. Fischer's white. Nice. You got two pieces, minor pieces for the rook. That's a good trade. Oh, nice. Another pawn bites the dust. Oh, is this the one when he had three pieces and he mated? Wow, I remember this one. This was his famous queen sack for three pieces. This is what Bobby Fischer was known for. I believe this is when he was a kid too. I think. Or was this just his famous game? I forgot. One of them was. No, I think he do a piece sacrifice again with another when he was like a younger kid. He did something like the Immortal game. Oh, the Candidates tournament. Okay. And then his opponent resigned. Yeah, this is just gonna be. Now you get to see the power of the two bishops. If he plays here, I'm trying to figure out what would you do at this point. but then he turns into a queen. Oh, and he blocks. Okay, I see. Huh. Still, I still would continue the. Oh, I get it because okay, because then next he'll come back here and then walk. Okay, because then if he tries to get in behind, let's see here. Wow, there really is. Let's see if he tries that. Well, maybe he'd have to play Queen A8 to stop this push because, well, I think the push still would come through. Yeah, because it wouldn't matter even if he took here. This is going to queen. Wow, that's power. That's a great game. Bobby truly was a world champion player, man. That's beautiful. That there's no way out. You're done at this point. Right here, you're done. The game, set, match. No line save black. Nothing saves black. That's just plain amazing right there. Well, I gotta say one thing. Making it to the Candies tournament though was something. So even if Ben Larson didn't do very good, he still made it. That's what so many players have dreamed about doing. So he made it there. That's what matters. It's not. It's and he didn't let it get. Remember, our thing is he didn't give up. He got. He didn't give up. He got up. So even though he did a 6-0, he still made it there. That's the coolest thing. That. Oh no, you're fine. It's fine. Okay, so do you have any questions on this game before I log off? It's a, oh, that's no questions on the game. No questions on the game? Alright. Well, I wanted to thank y'all for logging on. Remember, we become what we think about. And I always like the, and I'll apply that with a little engine that could saying, when Rusty said to the little engine, if you think you can, you will. If you think you can't, you won't. Either way, you're right. So, what you think about and what ends up basically becoming like your future. So that's why you have to remember to always keep the Lord in your thoughts when it comes to decisions, and especially when in your profession and field that you're in. And Bruce Lee said it really good too, that we I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times. So if we keep practicing, keep honing our skills, and keep our, as they say, the nose to the grindstone, and keep learning and working and improving, we'll get to our goal too. And you know what? Who knows? Maybe one of you, my friends, will make it to the Caddies tournament and win and challenge the world champion. Something to shoot for. Always, as they say, go shoot for the stars. Always. So never settle for second, but always go for number one. That's the saying I like. Or as the SEALs say, they say that second place is first loser. So there is only and I love their thing. It pays to be a winner. That so every time you win over the board, you're one step closer to your goal of whatever it is as a chess player. So every time you sit down, you study. Remember, whatever your goal is as a chess player, keep pursuing that. And like what Yazzer says, every long journey begins with one small step. Knowing is not enough, Bruce Lee said. We must apply. Willing is not enough, we must do. And we have to always remember that there are no limits, there are plateaus, and we must not stay there. We must go beyond them. And like Tom Thumb Thumb said, life is about treasuring your victories and learning from your losses. Remember that mistakes don't define you. It is how you handle the mistake that defines you. The one thing that I find that chess players have in life is distractants, like things that will pull you away from your goal. But don't let the distracted stop you from what you need to do. The Lord talks about it as fields in that fields of like the ground. There's the rocky ground, which there are some players that are blessed with wonderful talent, and they do really good for a while, and then when it comes to the pressure of when they lose, and they're like, people kind of don't hang around them because everybody loves a winner. When you lose alone. There's that song, and it's very true. So you don't get to be a grandmaster without having those ups and downs. And so what you have to remember is that keep moving forward, and like the grounds, the rocky ground, it came up really fast. The sun hit it, which was trial and tribulation, and the plant faded. And then there's the one that's the biggest one that I find, like we talked about, distractants, is actually the ground with the weeds in it. If you let one weed grow, trust me, for some reason they invite all their friends, and eventually your whole garden is full of weeds. So don't even let a little sprout start up in your garden. Make sure that whatever is stopping you from doing what you need to do, pluck that out of your life, my friends, and pursue the goal that the Lord has for you to do. There's the ground that's the fertile ground that would bring 20%, 40%, 60%, 80, and up to 100% return on your investment. And that's very vital. That's the ground we want. When you plant a seed, though, you have to always remember that it's under the ground germinating. It's gonna come up, but you can't dig it up. What that means is you have to let it grow. You have to be patient. You have to be trusting, and you have to always keep watering it, and keep making sure that the weeds are all gone. And I just wanted to leave you with a chest cruncherism. And our chest cruncherism is always like with Tigger. When you're sitting down and studying, and most of your friends are not, they're doing other things, and you're wanting to do those other things even though they are not good for the field that you're in, remember, you're a chest cruncher. And when you're studying, and they come over and say, why don't you want to play this thing with us, or do this thing over here, you could say, I'm a chest cruncher, and they'll ask you, what's a chest cruncher? And you can always say this: I hang up my coat, I hang up my hat, I sit down and study when most won't. I do, and that makes all the difference. That's a chest cruncher. Some will say, "Can you teach me?" And others will just walk off. And you know what? You at least planted the seed for them maybe to look into chess. So I'll leave you with that. As Wesley so says for the Lord Jesus, and as I say, God bless, and I'll see you tomorrow on Chess Cruncher TV. Have a blessed morning, afternoon, and evening, and Lord willing, we'll be back on and we'll strive for that 2600 marker. Great job. We got to keep moving forward. I'll bring 2 games next time instead of 1. And there were a lot of good games to choose from, but I really enjoyed Jennifer's. I'll bring Annie's next time. She did a really good game against Gordy, and we'll see. I'll bring that one, and I'll see if there's some really other good ones. And I'll try to bring a ladies and a man's game, or woman's and a man's. I'll get like maybe a Fabi, Nakamura, Wesley, one of those in there, and we'll look at both of them because it's always good to see how both categories are going. Okay, but remember, it's the estate. If you guys want to, it's live tomorrow all the way to the very end. So there's no more. I don't believe there's any more rest days. So it's getting pretty tight. Jennifer is only a half a point away from Anna Natonsky. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens tomorrow. So be blessed. And if you are new and you're on our site and you like what you see, click follow. Join us on our journey to becoming better chess players. Be blessed. Great job, Team Chess Cruncher. Always keep moving forward and keep studying. Okay, be blessed. Bye bye.